everybody, welcome to the Gabe Saglie Show. I'm your host, Gabe Saglie, coming to you from my home bar at Saglie headquarters in beautiful Southern California. We're, of course, in the midst of a COVID-19 reality. We're hunkered down at home, so we're using this show to keep tabs on what's happening in the world of travel, as well as wine, spirits, food. We'll meet some of my family and friends as well during the course of this show. A little bit later on, a world premiere event. My 5-year-old daughter on the piano. But we begin by taking a look at Sonoma, a destination that really sort of depends heavily on visitation from certainly folks here in California and all over the world. It's come to a screeching halt during this coronavirus pandemic. How is Sonoma, and specifically the Fairmont Sonoma Mission Inn and Spa, one of the great properties in California, getting ready to rebound once we get the green light to travel all over again? My friend Michelle Heston, Executive PR Director for several Fairmont brands here on the west coast of California, joins me right now. Hey, Michelle, great to see you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm delighted to see you.
Listen, my wife and I have been at home with our 3 kids. We love them so much. But you can imagine that as soon as we can get out of here and leave the kids at home with somebody else, you know we're going to be getting up to the Sonoma Mission Inn, right? I mean, that's kind of... I know.
I can't wait. We're waiting. Our doors are going to be poised and ready to welcome you.
All right, listen, we're going to talk about the beautiful property here in just a second. I do know you're a sommelier, so in your honor, I did pour myself a Sonoma Chardonnay. It's on the Crossbarn label. It's a Paul Hobbs project, obviously a wine luminary. So I thought, I'm going to sip on a little Chardonnay while I talk to Michelle.
I appreciate you drinking in good class. That's excellent. Thank you.
By the way, for folks who may not know, Sonoma, just about an hour north of the city of San Francisco, so one of these beautiful Bay Area destinations. But what makes Sonoma such a great place for things like Chardonnay, Pinot Noir? As a somm, what's your snapshot assessment of Sonoma and its wine potential?
So Sonoma is a pretty amazing AVA. There's actually 18 AVAs in Sonoma County. But what makes it really, it's so varied. So we have 50 miles of coastline. We've got a lot of mountainous. We've got some dry. We're not as hot as Napa, so hence why we're such a great Pinot Noir. We've got a lot of coastal, so we get that nice fog. And the Chardonnay, it's perfect for Chardonnay. So I would say Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, of course, you've picked our 2 favorite varietals.
Yeah. Well, this is a great little wine. Crossbarn sells for $27. Fermented in stainless steel, so really bright.
So it's bright and clean.
Honey. Yeah, beautiful wine. One of the things I love when we say at the Fairmont Sonoma Mission Inn is that 4:30 p.m. wine hour at the lobby, right? You guys highlight some of these great local wineries for guests right there every single day.
Yeah, what I really think that's amazing, it's a sense of community as well. We all need some community. And we bring in a winemaker from the neighboring area, Napa, Sonoma, sometimes Mendocino, from 4:30 to 5:30. Everyone gathers in the lobby. It's complimentary. We even let you buy some bottles there if you'd like. And you get to meet the winemakers, talk to them firsthand.
And then there's that option to actually add those cheeses. You bring those fantastic array of cheeses that you can kind of add. It's just a phenomenal experience. Great thing to do after a spa treatment and before you prepare to head to dinner over at Santé.
You got it. So you've got the whole day planned.
Figured out, yeah. So Michelle, one of the most desirable destinations in the world, Sonoma, one of the most desirable properties in the state of California, the Fairmont Sonoma Mission Inn and Spa. We're looking at June 1st as a potential opening day where we can actually start to see guests come back in. How do you determine that? How does a hotel, who you're working with, to really determine that this is most possibly the date when guests will be able to visit again?
So as you can imagine, it's a moving target, and we've got a lot of professionals. We have got some third-party cleanliness and safety people that we're working with at the brand level. We obviously are following mandates and ordinances from both the county and the state. And it'll be a rolled, phased reopening, depending upon, again, what those social distancing protocol look like for our dining areas, for our spa areas, for our pools. Golf is now open, so our guests also have access to Sonoma Golf Club, so now's the time to get on the greens.
Talk to me about those springs, those mineral springs, because that's unique to this property.
That is true. We have our own geothermal springs that come up from the ground at about 130 degrees. We pump them into our pools. We obviously cool them a bit, and they're used to feed all of our springs. It's actually, we've done some mineral analysis. It's the same spring as Calistoga, goes right underneath the Mayacamas Mountains. So they're very regenerative. for generations, and even the Native Americans who were first in this area have been using these springs for health and wellness and vitality for generations.
So, Michelle, spa treatments, and there's one thing I keep telling my wife every day of this COVID-19 hunkering reality. I need a massage so badly. I think just the stress of what's going on, it really sort of it manifests itself in our bodies. But it's such a personal, hands-on thing. So in this COVID-19 new reality, what are some of the considerations there?
It's a really good question. So again, we're working with some of those licensing agencies to figure out what that new normal looks like. But know that the health and safety of our guests and our employees is always first. So we will take those very seriously, and then we'll implement accordingly.
One of the best meals we've had like ever as a couple has been at Santé. It's one of our go-tos every time we're there. So world-class dining, one of the best dining spots in the Bay Area. What are you seeing in the kitchen there, and how is Santé looking to open up right around that June 1st date?
So again, what we'll be doing is we've always focused on farm to fork and really supporting those very small local farmers, which we will continue to do. And you'll get a really seasonally driven menu. We'll obviously pare it down a little bit. We want to make sure that everything we put to the table is something that you think about for years and years and years.
Yeah, such good stuff. I remember having such a great Bloody Mary with breakfast, and I think
with all the things in it.
Yeah, it was like a work of art. You know, it was hard to sip it, but sip it I did. I think one of the first things we're going to see out of the gate when we get that green light to travel post-COVID is to do these sort of regional drivable trips. And so here in California, that means a lot of us will be staying within state. Do you foresee maybe seeing, at least at the very beginning, an influx of regional travelers, in-state travelers, who maybe are discovering the resort for the first time, or just, hey, that's a place that's so familiar, that's the one place I want to go to as soon as I possibly can?
Well, that's what makes you the travel expert, because you've hit the nail on the head. We absolutely see that drive market travel as we roll back into this travel period. That's what people will feel most comfortable with. So being poised in Northern California, where we have numerous large drive markets, all of the Southern California market, San Francisco Bay and Sacramento, people will take those trips first. And wine country is ideal. So you can feel like you're in Italy or you're in France. You can taste some of our uncomparable wines. Hopefully you'll be able to sit in the pools right away, play some golf, hike, bike. We have a lot to do that really promotes that social distancing, but your feeling of rejuvenation, relaxation, and getting out of your house, right? We all need some time to your point, if you're with young children and you're trying to homeschool and work, you need a little detox time.
Yeah, it's at that resort where we'll find our sanity again, isn't it?
Yes, I'm going to coin that. That's perfect. Come back and find your sanity, right?
Clearly, you're doing many things as a standalone resort, but obviously you're part of the Fairmont brand. So much of what you're doing, I'm assuming, at least at a higher level, is in conjunction with other properties under that Fairmont umbrella.
Absolutely. And even larger than that, our parent company is Accor, which is a Paris-based multicultural, multi-global company. And really making sure that safety is what we're talking about from an operational standpoint. How do we rethink all of our regular operations so it is safe, so that our guests feel comfortable coming back into a hotel environment? It's really making sure that there's confidence in the traveling community. And how do we help in building that travel confidence?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That confidence is going to be key no matter which travel you're talking about. Before I let you go, the worst part of being hunkered down at home, and maybe surprisingly, your favorite part about the quarantine?
Oh, you know what? It's so funny, Gabe, you say that. Before this, I was traveling quite a bit, and it was nonstop events and coming home to change outfits and go again. And I said to my husband, like a week before this all happened, I just need to slow down. Well, I've come to like a screeching halt, obviously, and my life has taken a different turn, as has all of ours.
Yeah.
But it's been a really good for me personally in kind of this reflection.
Yeah.
Being a little more mindful, being a little more thoughtful. As you know, I love to spend time in my kitchen, so I'm spending a whole lot of time baking and cooking. which is probably not good for my diet, but good for me.
You're being modest though, because baking is almost you're almost like a baking savant from what I can tell. I mean, for people who follow you on social media, Michelle, I mean, you're cranking out some of these beautiful, just spectacular cakes.
Yeah, it's really a passion.
My goal is to see you in person up there at the Fairmont Sonoma Mission Inn sooner rather than later. This is the kind of thing that's really sort of rocked even the greatest of travel brands, and it's how we are pivoting as an industry and how we are becoming smarter travelers at the same time that'll help sort of move this whole thing forward. So I look forward to seeing you in person and sipping you a little sharp food before too long. Okay, Michelle?
Thank you.
All right,
Take good care. Bye-bye.
And again, Michelle is Executive PR Director for a variety of Fairmont properties on the west coast of the U.S., including the Fairmont Sonoma Mission Inn and Spa, one of my favorites. You can find out more at fairmont.com/Sonoma. Now, Michelle and I talked about my 3 kids. She has met them several times, including my 5-year-old daughter, Madeline. As a parent during this quarantine, how do you not just keep your kids busy, but ideally maybe help them develop a new skill? Well, for Madeline, that has been playing the piano for the first time, thanks to virtual piano lessons that she's taking with my sister, Gabe Saglie, an accomplished pianist and piano teacher in Los Angeles. So now, Madeline's piano debut. Check out Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Biased, but that to me was raw talent. Am I right? If you want more information on my sister Mariette's virtual piano lessons or anything you've heard on this show, check out our website, GabeSaglie.com. Again, the world of travel evolving almost by the hour during this COVID-19 reality. We are staying on top of it. We'll bring you more information, pepper in a little bit of entertainment too, on the next of the Gabe Saglie Show. I'm your host, Gabe Saglie. Stay safe, stay well, and we'll see you next time.